Howdy y'all, Moglax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Um, so, I really need to go through those and see if they are things I should be working on. I have not done that yet, though. Yeah, so here we are back in base. I definitely, it's nighttime. I gotta come back here. It's not a big choice here. I could use some food. Got some eggs, we've got some meat. Got some water. Let's make some bacon and eggs, if you don't mind. All 2 of them. I wish there was a better way to get eggs. I've played a modded version, not of this particular alpha, but of one of the earlier ones, that had chicken coops. Was really nice, because then you could just get your chicken coops and you go and collect your eggs every once in a while from the chicken coop. It was nice. Alright. Get that anvil done yet? How long is that going to take you? 4 minutes? Whoosh. That's a long time to wait for an anvil. I mean, it probably takes longer than that in real life, right? Gotta melt down the supplies, and this gunpowder should be up here. Or gotta melt down the metal and all that kind of crazy whatnot. Kind of like the dog upstairs barking right now at 10:30 at night. Crazy whatnot. Oh man. So, I don't know which order to tell these stories in. Let's start with today. Obviously, we're going to talk about D&D because that's what I do. So I'm sitting here tonight, and as I've mentioned many times, Mondays and Thursdays are my hanging out with a streamer, and I don't know why I said he. So we play some, okay, that's never gonna happen. No. Where's the 1, 2... Maybe that's the one to hide it. Kill the wabbit. Nope. Give me... Okay, I might can handle that one. So you do your thing. I'm gonna go see about killing some cheerleaders. Although I think the last time I tried this, I got dead. And so I'm sitting here and we're doing our thing. And currently we're playing Space Engineers and Factorio. So Monday's the Space Engineers, Thursday is Factorio. And hopefully soon we get done with both of those games. I enjoy the Space Engineers. I'm not as big a fan of Factorio. It's okay. It's just a bit boring. It wouldn't be if I was the only one playing, but I'm not the only one playing, and so it's like a lot of standing around and doing nothing because there's only so many things you can do. And so, when you're waiting for research to go through, or you need supplies and someone else has just come through and taken the supplies. Um, you know, and you gotta wait. Oh! I thought that would hurt. And you gotta wait for the supplies to get built back up, and you know, it's not my favorite thing. Uh, I jumped off this because I saw a nest, and I was gonna. I'm terrible at finding nests. I killed a zombie. I rode up the hill a little bit. You're not a nest. Where's my bike? Nest. Should be right here. It's not, though. Oh, no, wait. It came from this way. Should be right here. And, anyways, that's got nothing to do with my story. That's just a side tangent, because that's the way my brain works. So I'm sitting here, and we're playing Factorio, and I'm working on the new project for me, which is, which is this uranium stuff, which is just super annoying to me because, once again, this is a tangent, but, you know, you got a game and you're like, okay, here's raw uranium, and then you got the centrifuges, and they have to centrifuge the uranium into useful uranium, and there's two kinds of useful uranium, and you have to have both to do anything, and then you've got a recipe that's like, take 40 of these, except that for every 10 uranium you process, there's a... I'm not sure how I just got hit. I was not close to that guy. And, so, a 0.7%, not 7%, a 0.7%, 99.3% of the time, it's going to come out as uranium-238. But 0.7% of the time, you're going to get uranium-235. And it takes both uranium-238 and uranium-235 to make okay, this could be okay. This might just be bad. It's only going to take a lot of bullets because, hey, I won. Because, you know, it's nighttime and I'm doing a quest that involves a circle of bad guys. I don't want the chrysanthemum. I want my bike. Anyways, so I'm sitting here. I'm working on that. And then all of a sudden I start hearing water dripping rapidly. And then several drips of water dripping rapidly. So I redid our kitchen floor a while ago, and I didn't do it very well because I didn't do it by myself. Let's put it that way. And so it didn't get done very well. And but I made a mistake, and I didn't understand because I'm not that kind of person. I don't do floors, right? And so it was something I was trying to figure out. And the previous floor was okay, let's be fair. The previous floor did the exact same thing that the floor is doing now. So nothing's changed. So it wasn't just me. The people who built the house also made a mistake. So it turns out there's this plastic stuff that you're supposed to put down on your floors before you put down your flooring. And it wasn't there when I took up the old floor. And the old floor also leaked. And so they spill horribly all the friggin' time. And it's not so much they spill. It's okay to spill. It's that they don't clean it up. And so they're just like I'm in the basement underneath that. And so there's these spots where the ceiling tile is ruined with wet splotches of like they're white ceiling tiles, but it's leaked through, and so now the white on the bottom has brown shapes where the water leaked through. And so I'm sitting here, and we had to move some of the stuff around here, which included my gaming table, which currently has a tabletop gaming, which currently has one of my more expensive, well, currently has one of my irreplaceable games and bits and pieces from some of my most expensive games, as well as, like I said, an irreplaceable game that they don't make anymore. And of course, it's leaking right on that. So who knows? I didn't even look. It just because I'm in the middle of something. So I sopped it up and put paper towels over it to catch the drips, and went upstairs and cleaned up the mess. And so I go upstairs and the lights are on, and there's just this giant puddle of water laying in front of the refrigerator. So I think we keep jugs of water in the refrigerator, like not jugs, but we've got uh um jugs. All right, it's jugs, but they got little spigots on the front of them, and we keep those in there with water, so it's nice and cold. Because I want cold water if I'm going to drink water, and so I thought maybe one of those had been left open, and so I opened it up. Nope, sure, it's not. Somebody just spilled a whole bunch of water right in front of the refrigerator and just went on about their business. And so I'm sopping all that up, and if I can get like one more good round of kills here, I should be able to push this up and over to motorcycle. So then the dog is barking too, and the dog is outside. Now our dog is an inside dog. Okay, I say our dog. Their dog is a barking menace who lives inside, and so I say menace because he chews up everything. What are those? Bodkin arrowheads. I don't really use arrowheads. I'm sorry. You're just gonna get turned into metal, I guess. And or like right now, he's just barking his head off, and nobody's doing anything about it. Like, you've got a dog. It's 10:30 at night. It's bedtime. He knows it's bedtime, but he doesn't want to be alone, so he's barking and barking and barking. And all they gotta do is come down and take their dog out, and then maybe tell him to keep his mouth shut. But do they? No, because that would be too helpful. All right, so I've taken a long time trying to tell this story. The dog's outside, and I'm like, okay, I don't see anyone anywhere, and so like the nephew's computer is on. It's open to a YouTube video. I don't understand why nobody's here. I go upstairs because sometimes they. I knew at least some of them had left, and because I saw the vehicle leave, and so. But sometimes they leave the older kid here, and I mean his computer was on, so I thought maybe he had stayed home because sometimes he doesn't like to go to whatever they're doing, and I didn't know if he would want to go to what they went to tonight, which was the alumni basketball game at the school. It's not alumni. It wasn't alumni this time. It was fathers and kids. Fathers versus the basketball team, basically. And so my brother-in-law went to that to play in the basketball game. And, oh, hey, I did it. Skills. Intellect. Grease monkey. Motorcycle maniac. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna make a motorcycle. Well, I'm gonna try to make a motorcycle. We'll see if I've got the supplies for it. And so, uh, I go upstairs, like to the second floor. I'm checking in their room because the light's on, TV's on, there's a video game on pause. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Why is nobody here but everything is on? I mean, that's not unknown for them, I guess, but still. And no, they just left. Left with the dog outside, left with the water all over the floor. Just, I don't know. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was D&D. And, alright, so I'm making a motorcycle, which I'm pretty sure I have to do over here for at least some of it. Motorcycle. So to make the handlebars, I need mechanical parts, duct tape, headlight electrical parts, and forged steel. Oh, I totally have this workbench. Can I make a crucible? I can't make a crucible. Dang it. When can I make... Oh, wait, that says I have a point. Oh. I guess I didn't need that extra level after all. Let's take Tinker. Can I now make a crucible? No. Dang it. Advanced engineering. That's the highest rank. That's the highest rank. Right? Which takes intellect level 10. Well, that's not going to help me at all. Jeez. Well, okay. Then let's go with a mini bike, I guess, until I can get a crucible. Mini bike. Mini bike handlebars. Spring, mechanical parts, headlight, electrical parts, and iron pipes. I definitely have the pipes. Mechanical parts. Electrical parts. Springs. Headlight. There's my forged iron. Okay. I want to make a chassis. I need forged iron, mechanical parts, duct tape, leather, and electrical parts. So I'm just missing the leather and the duct tape for that. Okay. And then to make the mini bike, I need a battery and engine and wheels. And to make the wheels, this one might be trickier. I need iron, polymers, oil, coal, and acid. Not sure I've got the coal. Battery, engine, acid, plenty of polymers for what I want to do. I do not have the coal. I've only got 12. No, I do, right there. Sweet. Polymers, iron. I've already forgotten what goes into wheels. What am I missing? Oil. I've got oil. Sweet. So, last night we were playing our D&D game. Oh, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Uh, so here's the thing. We 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 ended last week where we needed to find out if this guy uh, was betraying his people or not. That was one of the missions we had, and we also needed this super special acid that we could only get from this guy. So we get to the toward the end of the night, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I came up with a plan. This is what we're gonna do. We are going to um, battery. I was trying to think what else I was missing here. Um, we are going to go ahead and uh, we're going to send the talkie bard in. Bards are super good at persuading people. They're like entertainers, right? And so they're super good at the persuading of people part. And so I wanted to get him in to talk to the guy, and my bard is good at disguises, and so I wanted to go ahead and disguise myself. And oh, the wheels aren't done. Oh, I needed 2 wheels. I only told it to make 1. Acid, polymers, iron, coal, wheel. Oil again. Can't remember the oil. And so then our DM is like, well, we're gonna end it here early tonight because I'm not ready for all of that. And so we didn't get to play through that. And so usually I feel like when he says that, it just means he wants to come up with some way to counteract the plan we made, because he never says that before we make our plan, right? It's always after we make our plan, and then he's like, yes, we must end early tonight so I've got something to do. And that thing to do is to disrupt any plan that we made. And so my guy disguises himself. He goes in, he buys the acid, and he chit chats with the guy because our other guy is a thief. Now the class is called a rogue, and then you get to choose a subtype, and so he's chosen thief as his subtype, which means they're really good at burglaries, like second floor work is usually what it's referenced as. So he can, break into a house. That's his specialty. So we want him to break into the house and look for papers, maybe, that indicate that this guy has betrayed his people, like we've been asked to find out. And so he does that, and then I send in my warrior because the bard is still chit-chatting. And so in my mind, this guy is he's a civilian. He's not something special, right? And no. Turns out that the Weasley little apothecary who sells people fake potions is actually a super powerful spellcaster for some reason. And only like every other fight we have, which is the most annoying thing to me, is that he's not just a spellcaster, but he's a spellcaster that's loaded down with runaway spells. It's all the bad guys that my DM runs ever have. And it makes the encounters super annoying. I don't understand why they always have to try to run away. Always try to run away. And, like, okay, so let me interject what I did as a DM. right? So we've got four guys who are carrying bombs. The bombs make them heavy, and their mission is to blow up the train because I'm playing a sci-fi thing where they're trying to blow up a maglev train, magnetic levitation train, and so during the fight, one of them gives away his bag and attempts to fight off the group of four, so the other three can get their bombs to where they need to go. Well, one of those had lost his bomb, and so he also turned to help. So two of them are trying to get to the train to blow it up. Not to run away, but to do a mission. And there we go. Now I've got a nice mechanized vehicle. Oh man, I saw the pictures today for the drone. Oh man, Alpha 19. Yep, I've got no gas in this. There we go. Can't turn the lights on. Doesn't have lights. Has a headlamp, no lights. So much better. So much better. And so I figure he's a civilian. They've got like 10 hit points. And so I punch him a couple of times, non-lethally, because my plan is to knock him out and take him back because he's guilty. We found the notes that said that he had... Well, okay, we found the notes that make no sense. I don't know who wrote this adventure book. I could look. I have it. But you know what? You can't say a group is trying to seize a seat of power in a city and then also make them a bunch of tiny little fighting each other gangs, like with a handful of members in each gang trying to kill each other on the streets when they see each other. You can't be both. And so this was a case of the one gang attacking the other, and so we got the proof, and so I hit him. I hit him a couple of times. I did like 12 damage to him, I think, which to me should have been enough to knock out a normal merchant. But no, this guy wasn't even close to a normal merchant. I don't know how much damage we did to him, but we did a lot, and he one of the rules in the game is that when you cast a spell, if you're going to cast a spell, the other spell has to be a cantrip. Well, our DM doesn't like that because he plays a spellcaster, and so he wants to cast multiple spells on his turn, which totally ruins what everybody else can do. And but he has, no matter how many times you talk to him about this stuff, he acts like you're not talking to him, and that clearly you don't know what you're talking about. But when the spells are balanced so that they do as much damage as a fighter landing every attack they get in a turn, and then you let him do it again, so he's basically taking 2 turns to the fighter's 1 turn. But our DM has never played a fighter or any melee class that works normally. He's played... Ooh, this thing is bouncing around. He's played a monk, and monks get extra attacks, like, super right off the bat, and so he's always throwing, like, his special abilities and stuff, and basically treats it like it's a caster. And, so anyways, so we start this fight, and what's he do? He casts Greater Invisibility on himself. I don't even know what level of spell that is, but it's way out of our league. And then he also casts Misty Step. Only the DM tries to cheat, and he's like, he Misty Steps in the other room. I'm like, doesn't that spell require line of sight? Yes. He can see through the open door. I'm like, he's not anywhere to see through that doorway. What are you talking about? Fine, then he teleports next to the door. Because he wouldn't let us do that, right? It's not like he's suddenly gonna be like, oh, look, you just go right ahead and teleport through to that next section. No. No, he'd be like, oh, you guys can't see that. And, and then I'm pretty sure he didn't want us to even finish this last night because we got to a point and he started being like, you guys gotta go soon? You guys gotta go soon? And then he started messing around with the map because he didn't like how it was centered because we played digitally. And so he probably spent a good 15 minutes running the clock out to the time when the guy who we play with normally quits, but he totally took a nap. Look, here's an anvil now. He totally took a nap when he got home from work, and so he could stay later last night, which greatly disrupted our DM's plans of not completing the evening. And so, but then his guy's like invisible and using this spell that lets you teleport. And he keeps doing that stuff in the same turn. And then we're casting on him when he finally comes out of being invisible, and he keeps using he must use like 3 counter spells. And the thing is that my guy currently has two level 3 spells. Counterspell is a level 3 spell, and he used 3 of those. He used greater invisibility and stuff like that. And so this guy is way more powerful than someone who would work at this tiny little nothing shop. And I'm just like, ugh. And then he's like, oh well, he's invisible, and he misty steps, poof, and then he runs up the stairs and he misty steps, poof, and then he looks out the window and he casts fly on himself, and then he misty steps out the window, and now he's flying 15 feet in the air because every bad guy we face somehow winds up 15 feet in the air because he thinks that means that melee can't reach him. And then we have to argue about the rules and how a person who is 7 feet tall and can jump like with the rules like 5 feet in the air, as which counts as his movement, which is fine, and is carrying a great sword. And the rules say that basically being 7 feet tall, you are, you're 5x5 square standing plus your height. So you're into the next square, and you can do half your height and reach above that. And so that definitely puts you up to 10 feet. And so that puts that guy 5 feet out of range, so a 5-foot jump easily. And so yeah, out the window, invisible, teleporting away, and our mission was to bring him in, dead or alive. And he knows that because he gave us the quest, but every time they run away, every time, it's so annoying. Whoa, I ran into my own bike. It's so annoying. So I don't understand why. Why? Why would you be like, what's the best way to annoy my players? Because that's all I can figure is why he does this. This one. I need this one. This is my spot I need to go to. But yeah, that was our D&D. We finally got to him and killed him, and then and then the whole thing takes place inside the city, right? And so there's supposed to be different factions, and the only faction we ever seem to really interact with is the City Watch. And no matter what we do, they always show up immediately afterwards. Like, immediately. Like, we chased this guy down, this one guy, and we killed him. And then the City Watch shows up immediately. And they always want to take everything that we found. Um, and it's super annoying. And so I've gotten to the point where I'm like, no, we're working for Force Grey, which is the highest authority in the city on um, this kind of matter. And so this is Force Grey business. We outrank the town militia, the City Watch. We outrank the City Watch at this point. And so that's what happened last night. And then he's like, it took an hour for them to get back to you. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a short rest. And he's like, what? I'm like, well, if we're going to be here an hour, I'm taking a short rest. Well, I guess it's a short rest. Oh, you bet it is, because on a short rest, both my bard and my bard's bardic inspirations, which he uses to attack now, because he's a sword bard, and my Battlemaster fighters, all their stuff comes back. Not spell slots, but the melee combat stuff all comes back on a short rest now. And so I'm gonna take those every chance I get. Plus I gotta heal back because I took so much damage from spells like Cone of Cold and... Oh, dude, Cone of Cold, I think, is also a level 3 spell. That means that guy cast 4 level 3 spells, and he said he had another one waiting to go. Whoa. He's not open yet. I just teleported away because he's not open. But, yeah, it's... I just don't understand why they always gotta run away. I don't even know about this quest. I haven't looked it up. I do know that part of what he's making us do is not in the... No, everything he's making us do for the end of this is not in the book. And he's giving us such minuscule little XP. It's not even worth it. It's so annoying. So annoying. I try to just get him to let us go on to the next adventure. Which I think I talked about last time I talked about D&D. It just doesn't make any sense for our little guys who have no stake in the game to want to get the 500,000 gold coins that were embezzled from the city back to the city. I don't understand why we want to do that, because I know I said we're part of Forest Grey, but we're not really part of Forest Grey. We just happen to have badges from Forest Grey in case anyone gives us trouble, and I use it every time. We're not a member of these organizations. We barely live in this city, and it's weird for me to care about the city's money, and so we try to just give them the key to the vault, and and they didn't want it. They didn't want it. They want us to unlock the vault, and so to do that, I mean, they being the DM. The DM didn't want to just end it. He wants us to go on, but he's making us do stuff that we shouldn't have to do, and I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do at this point, because the big bad guy, you don't even have to face off against the big bad guy, and I think he's pushing to make us face off against the big bad guy, which is dumb because the big bad guy is like a major character in D&D, and he should always be there, and we might need to deal with him in the future, and I don't understand why... deal with as in talk to and get information from, not as in hunt down and kill, because Xanathar is the head of the black market information guild, and I just don't think that we need to Yeah. Anyways, so with that, I'm gonna call it a night. So click like if you like, subscribe to catch the next one. I will talk to you later.